to become a canon also of the Diocese of Bondo. I know some people, because of lack of, they don't know well, I use the proper word, they don't know well how these things are. I just want to explain that a canon is the highest honor which is given to any person in the Anglican Church. You can be an archbishop, you can be anything else, but you may not be a canon. And it is given to those who are deserving, those whose lifestyle, those whose very actions have demonstrated the Christian values as they stand. And the church in its own would like to recognize such people. Last, some few months, in May, we honored some of our Christians. We gave them various awards. And I think Baba also got award, Bishop Okolo Award for Justice, which is the highest social award given to any other person for standing for rights of people. We gave awards to various people based on their areas of calling. However, we can give you all those awards, but when it comes to a canon, it is not easy to give someone or to appoint someone a canon. And once you are appointed a canon in a diocese, you are only a canon in that diocese. Anywhere you can just be called a canon, but you are not a canon in that diocese. But Ida is ours. She doesn't belong somewhere else. So we as a church, we say, because we cannot appoint her a canon again, church has its own terminology. Just like in engineering, you also have your own terminology. In a church, our term for having her as a canon in this church is called translation. You will hear the way the chancellor will be handling those translation and those legal jargons. Which means once we translate her, now she becomes one of our canons, just like these others you are seeing here. But again, what we do, the role of a canon are twofold. One is to be bishop's advisor. That is the most important role of a canon. You advise the bishop. So you sit in the council of bishop's advisor. So if I make a mistake, even in future from today, as a bishop, blame her. You ask for it and you get it. Apart from that, another role of a canon is that they are the ones in charge of the cathedral, the life of the cathedral of the diocese. Because even if you go, like now you are installed here, you go to the cathedral, you will be given a special seat at the cathedral. So one of the constitutional obligation of a canon is that you advise the bishop on matters of the cathedral, the life of a cathedral. That's one of the things you do. And again, the requirements of a canon. What is the requirement? The bishop, in his own wisdom, after due prayers and consultation, can identify any Christian of good moral standing to become a canon. But it is regulated. to avoid dilution of the title, the number is restricted by the Constitution. So I can't have more canons than lay canons than ordained than priest canons. We have two types of canons. There's a lay canon. A lay canon, like now, Canon Ida and all these are lay canons. This is Canon Angeline, this is Canon Justice Onyango. Lay canons play a very important role. They check on how the ministry of the diocese is also running, and they advise the bishop accordingly. So once you are there, because of your moral standing, and you take the vows, another thing which I wanted to say, once you have been made a canon, you are a canon for life. But there is a caveat. If you breach what the church considers to be something ordained, the provisions of the moral credentials, you betray that, it can be very embarrassing, because you'll be subjected to a process of removal, just like other people you are seeing. Subject of removal. The bishop can suspend your license as a canon, and if you protest that suspension or removal, then you are subjected to a tribunal. So there will be a court, and the chancellor will preside over that tribunal to find the reason why you are being subjected to a tribunal. That means once you are a canon, you are not allowed to sin. But you are allowed to confess if at all you fall into sin. Are you together? There is always a safety, a way out sometimes to go with this. Yeah. Which means you are someone who knows Christ. I just wanted to give that explanation first before I begin my message. Now, being St. Peter's Day, I will not have a specific Bible reference for this, but I want us to look at what we read